This is Indie Business Podcast, Season 1, Episode 9. Hello and welcome to this episode of the Indie Business Podcast. I am your host, mentor, and coach, Donna Maria, the founder and CEO at IndieBusinessNetwork.com. My goal is to help makers and handmade entrepreneurs build a solid business foundation, increase your income, and use your business to create the life you love. On this episode, I will introduce you to Elissa Choi of BonBlissity in San Pedro, California. Elissa's story is fantastic and really serves to prove that you can have a successful business without having a huge, massive 20-year business plan in place and without quitting your day job entirely. Elissa started her business with a few products, then quickly downsized to just one, available in 12 cents. As time passed, she added another product, and again in the same scent. And then a little bit more time passed, and she added a third product. So there's a lesson right there. Don't have too many products in your line. Elissa and I drive this point home in our conversation. You'll also hear her trade show secrets, well, some of them, and learn a bit about how her business model is structured. Finally, for those of you longing to be in business with your spouse, you'll get a taste of how Elissa and her husband manage that as well. This is an inspiration-packed show, so buckle up. We cover a lot of ground here. You can get a summary and the resource links for this episode at indiebusinessnetwork.com/9. I'll be right back with Elissa Choi. Elissa Choi at BonBliss. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, Donna Maria. How are you?
I'm great. Now, where are you as we talk today?
Today I'm in my home office in San Pedro, California, which is just south of LA. It's near the LA harbor.
Now, Elissa, in addition to BonBliss, you also have a traditional job. So tell us a little bit about what your traditional job is and how you got into your own business at BonBliss.
Well, I'm a dental hygienist for the last 13 years. I work about 2 to 3 days a week, and I love what I do, and I don't want to give it up. I got into the business of body care just on accident. I loved and spend a lot of money on other beauty products, and packaging is everything. And I was just attracted to the fact of developing a line that would be everything that I would purchase. So I played around with some cocoa and shea butter that I got from a friend, and I found, doing some online searches, I found that there was a whole world of handmade beauty products and fragrances and colors and such things like that. And we just started playing around. My husband and I started to play around with some recipes that we would find online and on YouTube. And it took us about 9 months to find something that we thought we liked, and then another 6 months to perfect it.
And everything is just, I mean, at bonblissbeauty.com, everything is so colorful. I mean, it's like screaming color off the screen. And so tell us what your main products are.
Our main products are the scrub to goes, which are little candy wrapped scrubs that look like sugar cubes. They're wrapped in little candy wrappers, and they come in a little tin that are designed so that you can keep the whole tin in your purse, and you can always have your little piece of solid scrub to use on the go. I always tell people you can use it when you're at work, you can use it when you're on a date, you can use it when you're just out and about and need a little refreshing yourself. And they're great for traveling too, like when you go overseas or anywhere.
Okay, so I have to ask you this because I'm looking at them on your website now. Has anybody ever opened one up and stuck it in their mouth and thought it was candy?
All the time. I haven't. I've had people tell me that their so-and-so, their grandpa or somebody did eat one. And at our shows that we do, we have a tin opened up on each, for each of the 12 fragrance that we have. And some people think they're samples, and they'll just come by and pick one up and either take it with them and eat it, on the way as they're
Right.
walking away as they're opening it up, or they'll eat it in front of me. And sometimes I stop them and sometimes I don't. It
Oh my
depends on how rude
goodness.
they are.
They really, really, right. They really, really are pretty. And then also there's the moisturizing body truffles. Is that like a single use as well?
Correct. Now, we started off with the scrub to goes, and a lot of people asked us, about using it on their body. And yeah, you could, but you'd have to open so many up and it would be expensive. So, just from the customer feedbacks, we came up with a larger size and wrapped it like chocolate. So those are identical in formulation. They do the same thing. They're just packaged in a different way. So they're just larger and larger in size
This
for the
is
full body.
awesome. So you have essentially one formula in 12 varieties packaged two different ways.
Correct.
I love
And
the simplicity of that. And it's just,
it is.
it's great. And so one idea came first and then it naturally sort of organically led to the other one.
That's correct. And then that naturally led to another product, which we call the Scoopables. And the Scoopables are not on our website because those are only for professional use. We do a lot of spa trade shows, and the estheticians, the spa owners, they loved the product, and they wanted to incorporate it somehow into their services. So what we ended up creating was just the powder form. It's identical. It's just a different form again, and it's sold in just a 1 pound pouch bag. And they can use it a little amount for a manicure. They can use a little bit more for a pedicure, or they can use a lot more for a body scrub. So that gives them flexibility as to what they're going to use it for, rather than purchasing at wholesale price the actual body truffle to use on a person in their service.
Right.
That just all the money's in the packaging, so that's why we're trying to help cut down on that.
Right. So you have two different audiences, obviously. Then you have the spas, and then you have the retail customers like me who are drawn in by this gorgeous website that you have here. And, it's funny because, we've been talking for a few minutes and it sounds like we've just been talking about your products, but I want our listeners to make sure that they hear what we're doing is really describing an innovative process that has unfolded for you when you didn't see all of this coming. You had one product, and then you figured out as you went along, based on customer feedback, how you could expand in a way that didn't tax you too much and was really something that when you add something to your line, it's something people are already asking for, so you're not even taking as big a chance.
That's correct. It's been such, you learn so much from interacting directly with customers, and you do that by doing shows, different trade shows or even craft shows. And I think it's such a better gauge on what people like and don't like about your product than to just sell it on the website and hope for someone to write some kind of review or feedback, because it's people like to talk.
They do, and they share good things. They want their friends to have a good life, and when they discover something fun, they want to share it. So Elissa, let's go back a little bit, and let me ask you, like you originally started with the cubed scrubs, and they were great. I'm sure they were beautiful, like they are now. But how did you decide? At that time, if you were a full-time
hygienist.
Yeah. So did you just say, well, I'm just going to go part-time and I'm going to sell all these scrubs? How did you make that transition? What was that part of your story like?
I think we were just being so crazy. We got so excited about the whole idea, and we just wanted to do so much. During that period when we found this world of handcrafted beauty products, skincare and body care, I discovered soap making, and I had never heard about, I had never known that there were handmade soaps out there. I just thought you buy whatever soap that they sold at the drugstore or the supermarket. So I started to join all these Facebook groups that had, about soaping, and I would just be so inspired with all the creativity and the process. So I Googled and found this soaping studio in, near San Diego, and I signed up, and I spent 2.5 hours each way, 2 days a week, for about, I think, 5 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
going and taking soaping classes. So I really didn't actually start with the scrubs. I started with soap, and I made soap, but they all looked like cupcakes
Mm-hmm.
or cake slices. And then we threw in some body bath bombs that looked like cupcake. And then we also had our little scrubs, just the scrub to goes, the candy wrapped ones. With that, plus some bath salts, we decided to start doing weekend, not craft shows, but like little beauty events. There's a lot of, being in LA, we have a lot of little events that are geared towards, fashion and beauty. Women come out here to shop and drink and just have a good time. And so we decided to try some of those out, and we had really great feedback, and that in turn inspired us and motivated us to do even more of the show. So we just kind of said, who cares, who cares if we work 4 or 5 days? Let's just go do this on the weekend. It's only the weekend. It's only 1 or 2 days. And we weren't doing it every weekend at that time. It was like once every maybe 2 or 3 months. So, it gave us, it was just something for us to look forward to. And those customers are the ones that inspired us and motivated us to go into the spa industry. And we had no idea we would get such great feedback from it. And so we were having so many people ask us, do you do wholesale? Do you do wholesale? And we didn't even really know what that was at the time.
Right.
And so we kind of grew from that direction, is what helped us move into this direction that we're going. So my main business is actually wholesale.
Mm-hmm.
I do retail also, mostly through shows. I don't do too much through my website, but I think it's it's important to promote to the general public, and then also to the spa industry, because that's who we want to sell to. Because we get the products, we'll hit a bigger market by selling wholesale, I think, because we're in some big spas and they have their own customers that my product is being exposed to. So I'm kind of playing too. I'm a manufacturer that sells not only retail but also wholesale, but and we guide a lot of our customers to our retailers too, so that that creates business. It makes it helps my product move when I can guide them to the locations that they can purchase instead of paying shipping online.
Right.
And that's okay for me.
Well, and it certainly is nice that someone like me, who's in North Carolina and you're in California, can go on the internet and buy your products at retail if they're not sold in my area. So, and I was going to ask you about that too. You sell retail online, obviously. You do. You said you do a few shows that are geared toward consumers, but mostly you're doing wholesale shows and trade shows. What is that division like for you? It's like half and half, 75-25. What is that business model like?
We actually do, I think, 6 percentage-wise, based on the number of shows. I'd say it's wholesale shows are only really about 40% of my show marketing. I do a lot of smaller retail and consumer or end user shows, but dollar-wise, it's my wholesale business that is more of an income than my retail.
There you go. And do you find that when you do the retail shows where the consumers are, that you get a lot of your really good feedback and, like on the ground, here's what real people are saying about our products? And does that help you make them better for your spa customers?
Yes, for sure. We learn a lot about different scents through our retail customers, what they like. On my wholesale customers, I get more feedback on packaging, like what it looks like on the shelf, because I'm competing against big name brands. Also on application, the problems that they have. One of the big things that they tell me is that they love the idea of being that a little bit goes a long way, because in the industry, especially with the nail spas, they use too much. And since the technician or the manicurist that's using it is usually not the person paying for it, they don't care. So, in the way that we have it developed, they can pre-portion the amount. So this is the amount that they're going to use for a manicure, and this is the amount that they're going to use for a pedicure, and they can't deviate from that, or that's the way they're trying to do it, so that it helps them with cost control too.
Oh, that is such a nice idea. It makes I was having a pedicure not too long ago, and I remember I felt like I was being gypped on the scrub, and I said, "Could you put some more in there?" And she did. But now I'll think twice before I ask that again, because I wasn't thinking along those lines. How selfish of me. But that's so
well, you're paying
great.
for it, it's different.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But I just love what you're doing, because your products, they look awesome, and anything can look awesome. But what you're describing is not only a product that looks great, but you're sharing the back end of how it all works together, and the quilt that goes on behind the covering, that makes everything work. Now, when you say the word "we" as you describe how your business works, you're talking about your husband. So I want to ask you, how did it come about that your husband started working with you?
He worked with me at the show, at the events. I think we did our first trade show, and he really had no idea what to do. He's not a huge, he's social, but it takes a bit for him to get warmed up. And I think he was intimidated by the caliber of the show. It was a huge, I think there's like 40,000 people, and they're, professional spa people, and he has he doesn't know anything about the industry. So
Right.
he was just there to physically help me. We do demos at our booth. So, it's about, getting water, taking the dirty
Right.
water away. So between those times, he didn't know what to do. He didn't want to talk to people because it scared him. So he watched me do demos, and there were people waiting to speak to me about wholesale. So he said, you go, I'll go do the demos, you go talk to them. And he had been listening to the way I was describing and walking the process, how to use the scrubs. And, he picked it up, and he's just started to do all the demos. There was a line forming, and there was for the demos, and then there was a line forming for people to purchase, just touch and carry and to talk to me. And I think because the doing the demo is so task specific, like he doesn't have to think about what to do, he just does it. It was easy for him. And so that kind of became his job. And we've been doing this almost 3 years. And he's found different things that work better.
Yeah.
And he's really made the improvements in making the experience during the demo just to be really great. And he's better at it than I am. I don't like doing demos anymore.
That is so wonderful that you have, created this business. Did you have a business plan when you got started?
No, honestly, I don't even have a business plan now. It's all in my head, which is terrible. I know, but I haven't had time.
Well,
to sit down
you say that, and I kind of know what you mean, but I'm sure you have your shows planned for next year, your trade shows and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah.
and that is a business plan. I don't mean like a big, huge notebook with 3-ring binders and stuff, but that's what's so awesome and inspiring about this is that. You started something and you have ideas in your head and they're very well executed. But you're also being flexible and sort of allowing the path to open up before you in a natural way. And that's illustrated, it sounds to me like, from how you and your husband have worked together, because that was definitely not planned, right?
No, it wasn't planned at all. He was just supposed to be my physical labor guy.
Right. And now he's the one that does most of the manufacturing.
Yes, he started to help me. Like I said, the cupcake, the bath bombs that we used to do, and the soaping, it took a lot of my time, and there was no way I could do everything myself. So,
Right.
I had him. I would make the scrubs and show him how to do it, and then he was doing that while I was working on something else because I didn't really trust him to do the soap or the bath bomb part, and he got really good at it. He works very efficiently. I
love it.
We just, by the time we decided that we were going to focus just on the scrubs because the soaps and the bath bombs weren't selling as well, and it was just a lot of effort for really nothing.
Right.
We decided to just focus on that. And,
Yeah.
to be honest, I'm not sure exactly how it became all him. You know what? I remember.
Yeah. Well, it's great though. And I love that, you don't, it's turned out that way. And that's something that's really, really inspiring to see. And you have a child, right? You have a son.
I have an 11-year-old son. He's a seventh
Okay.
grader.
So
And
you started doing all this after your son was born. Amazing. Amazing. So you have such an eye for color, and everything that you do is just so focused and so lovely. And you're doing some rebranding things right now too. What tips can you pass along to our listeners about rebranding? I mean, I hear this question a lot, whether it's changing a name or changing packaging because you have to up level because your customers, or maybe if you have wholesale customers, they want the packaging to be better. What are some of your tips that you're learning as you go through a rebranding right now that you can share with other makers?
Okay. When I created or came up with the name BonBliss, I did my typical, what I think most people do. We looked to see if there was a domain name available. We checked the U.S. Patent Attorney's website to make sure that there wasn't a name already registered. And I Googled the name and nothing really came up that was anything like my product or even in the same category. So I did have an attorney apply for the trademark, and everything went through. Then it came to the 30-day opposition period, and I had a major brand oppose it. So luckily, I mean, timing is everything. Luckily,
Right.
I was planning on changing my packaging to make it nicer, make it more upscale anyways. But what was great is that I didn't invest the tens of thousands of dollars or thousands of dollars into the packaging and then have this problem after. So this is like maybe 2 weeks before I was going to place my order, where I got the notification. So what we decided was we came to an agreement to try to stick with something similar to my current name. And then we're going to do the whole rebranding, but we're not starting on the rebranding until we know for sure that this trademark, the new trademark application will go through and no one's going to oppose it. It's, a lot of wasted money. My attorney, what happened was when I chose the new name, I didn't find anything similar to it, but she was able to locate a name similar, plus it was in the same category, and we didn't want to have to go through this again next time.
Yes.
So we did try to contact them to see if we can do like a coexisting agreement, but they never got back to us. So what I've done is
that would be no.
Yeah. Well, we didn't disclose why we were contacting them. We just asked them to contact us to discuss some things, but we never heard from them. No phone call, nothing. And we were not sure if they're still in business because their Facebook page has no activity for the last couple of years and things like that. But so instead, we decided to go ahead and file in what we call an intent to use application.
Okay.
And it's just to make sure that it's accepted through the trademark office. And then at that point, if nobody opposes it, then we will use it officially then. And what we're doing is, because our main business or our focus is to sell to the spa industry, we want to make the packaging more upscale looking. We want to justify the pricing of the products, and we just want it to look better, to look more valuable.
I get you. And so from your story, I'm hearing that go ahead and get your trademark totally cleared and registered as early as possible, because as you say, when you're ready to up level your packaging, you definitely don't want to spend all that money to make everything pretty and then get a trademark problem down the road.
And it's so worth the investment to use an attorney. I found a great one where they specialize in beauty care, and they cater to small businesses too. So I mean, they have large businesses such as OPI and Moroccan Oil, but they also help small indies like us.
Good.
But it's it's not all about the money. It's so worth the investment because they will help you save money in the long run.
Yes.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes. Such good advice. And so you're going to be finishing up that rebranding. You think that'll be like a 2015 thing?
It will be 2015. I should know by February whether this trademark goes through or not. And then once it does, then the whole packaging. I pray that it does, because I don't know what the heck I'm going to do if it doesn't go through.
Okay, well, we're just going to claim it right here on the Indie Business Podcast that it's going to go through. So, Elissa,
Okay.
tell us a little bit about how you choose which trade shows to do.
All right. My main, the reason why we chose trade shows versus going just retail like gift shows is because we don't think that solid scrubs is a huge, it's not known to the general public. As big as Lush is, there's still a lot of people who don't know who Lush is, believe it or not. So what we decided to do is our products do not sell just sitting on the shelf. Because people don't know what it is. They might mistake it for candy or chocolate also. So
Yes.
instead, what we decided to do is focus on and read on people who will use the products, where clients or customers can experience the products. So if we market to the nail industry, which we have done, or which we still do, if they use it in their manicures and pedicures, the customer is experiencing the scent, the feel, and then if the salon is retailing it, they can see the packaging too. So
Right.
They can see the overall picture. So for us, it was really important that don't just leave it on your shelf. It won't sell. Use it on your customers. If you're not going to use it on your customers, like if in a hair salon, we do have some people that is in a hair sell it in a hair salon. Obviously, they're not going to get some type of service that's going to use the scrubs. So they leave it out in their restroom with a sign that shows them, tells them how to use it and where they can buy it at, or that they have it available for purchase. So it was really important for people to do some type of sampling or demo.
That is such an interesting point. And I want to pause there for a second, because this is not necessarily intuitive, because your products are beautiful. They're shiny, they're pretty, their colors are nice, they smell good. And what you're saying is that that's not enough depending on the product.
No.
That is so smart, because now that you know that, you can go to trade shows where they have professionals, whoever they are, that will somehow allow their customers to see that product in use.
Right.
And not just buying it because it looks nice on the shelf.
Right. And we do the same thing at our shows, whether it's, and we use that as a point at our trade shows. We tell the people that try it, we say, see, had you just walked by and looked at it, and everybody says, oh my gosh, it smells so good, it's so cute, and then they walk away. But if they try the demo, it's almost automatically sells itself. So that's something that we remind them, had you not tried this, you may not have purchased this. So that's why it's really important for us to have you do this too. And when they open a wholesale order, we always give them a free bag of the scrubs, just so that we make sure that they're going to do that.
Right. And I love that you're describing that, because it's such a valuable piece of information for people who might be thinking that it's gorgeous, it must sell, and that's just not necessarily the case. Yeah.
No.
So, Elissa, how do you use on the flip side, when you're trying to appeal to consumers? How do you use social media to engage customers and promote your brand?
Oh gosh, social media. As much as I'm on Facebook, I don't like doing that part for my business. I used to have someone that I hired to handle all my social media, but in the last, I think it was in August, things weren't working out. So right now I don't have anyone that's handling it. I just kind of do it sporadically on my own. But I know it's really important. And what I decided to do is that once I'm ready to go forward and launch my rebrand, that's when I'll have a new official a company to handle that part of my business. But right now I just feel like, because my husband and I do everything on our own, he does all the physical work. I do all the paperwork, the branding, all the different ideas and dealing with the orders. I do all that. So I feel like as much as social media is important, I don't want to put too much energy into that, because if I'm going to be rebranding anyways, I'll make the investment at that time to do it then. So
Right. And that makes so much sense. Yeah, well, and sometimes that's what we do, and as entrepreneurs, actually, that's what we do a lot. We whether it's social media or something else, and there's times when we have to go without, and I understand that I've had to let go of people sometimes, and just cringe and say, okay, well, that just won't be done for the next few months. It just won't happen. Right. And we always manage to get through. And so that's a good note to leave people with as well. And so what is it like to work with your husband as closely as you do?
Oh, wow. It's got some good and some bad. We go through, we go through all the, the, I think we can definitely spend way too much time together, and we've been together for 22 years, so that makes it even. But we also work really well together.
Yeah.
We bounce ideas together. We argue a lot, but it's not like an argument. It's more of a debate,
right?
And it opens our eyes to the way that they're thinking versus how what might. What the way that I might be thinking. So it's about compromising. Sometimes I think I feel like, we have different views. He's more of a frugal guy, and I'm more of like to spend money on nice things. So there's some conflict there, but and that's all about compromise.
Yeah, and I love that you said that too, because of course we're everybody's different, so that there are going to be those sorts of things. Do you find that do you have written things down, like this is your job and this is my job, and so you have sort of job description type things to kind of make things clear? Do you do anything like that? No? Okay, you just kind of know what you're supposed to do.
We just verbally take territories.
And that's great.
So that's not my job, that's your job.
Well, and it's wonderful when things can work together that way. What does your son think of all this?
Oh boy, my son used to love it. He used to want to be, he'd help us with little things, and but at this point, as he's getting to be, he's preteen, I don't think he cares for it so much. First of all, it's girly, and when we go to shows, he does go to a lot of the shows with us, but some of the shows, I think his classmates from school are starting to show up, girls, and I think he's embarrassed. So, if it's too girly, we try to, leave him with family and not have to have him deal with it. But I like taking him to the shows. Not only does he help me with like running credit cards and, doing, grabbing us food, right. Things like that. But I think it's really important that it opens his eyes to so many other businesses out there, and how the creativity that's out there, and that you can really do anything you want. You just have to have the motivation and the will to do it. So I like him being exposed to that.
Great. Great lessons.
As he gets older, he'll appreciate that. And
yes, I'm sure he will. Wonderful lessons to teach the next generation, that because they're really growing up in a world that's very different from, the one before them, where you could put out a resume and probably get a job. It's going to be very different for him when he grows up, and I'm sure that he'll remember these times. And I'm kind of glad, I don't know, misery loves company a little bit. I'm so glad you said that he used to be, more turned on by it, because I have tweens now, and they would get really excited about mommy's business, and now they're kind of like, oh God, whatever. It's just kind of
exactly.
So now I don't feel so badly anymore. I don't take that personally. I'm glad I'm not the only one. So I have an 11 and a 13-year-old, so I kind of get that. Yeah. Yeah. So Elissa, what words of encouragement can you offer to anybody out there who's thinking about starting any kind of maker business, not necessarily in the beauty industry, but what 3 tips can you offer for someone of encouragement in the world today who wants to start a business of their own?
Well, you definitely have you have to have confidence. You can't self-doubt. You have to just have confidence in yourself and in the business and in the product. Just focus on it and commit to it. Don't let people, there's a lot of, little chatters that come into your mind that might be negative, that will, bring you down. But you just have to focus on what your goals are, and really go from there. And I think it's really important to listen to your customers. They're going to let you know what they want. Don't try to be like everyone else, and find your niche.
Mm-hmm.
One of the big things is it takes money to make money, so
Yeah.
invest where it counts,
Yeah.
like, classes and seminars,
Right.
packaging, legal services, things like that.
Yes.
Becoming a member of supporting groups such as IBN. Um, you have to, I know a lot of people say, well, I don't have money for that right now. Well, a business takes money, so you need to,
Mm-hmm.
set aside money to make the right investments, and I think it's really important.
That's a good point, and it's a hard one. And I think once people get that point that you just mentioned, the overall point of investing in yourself and investing in your business is an investment in your future profits. It's almost like once they see that happen a couple of times, they go, "Oh, okay," and then it becomes a little bit easier to part with that money, because you know that if you're making a good investment, it's going to come back to you several fold.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's a good point to make too.
One of the things that I forgot to mention when we were talking about shows that I
Yeah.
think is really important is, if you can do demos with your products, do it. I like, just like my product won't sell sitting on the shelves at a store,
Mm-hmm.
my product won't sell sitting at at our booth at the shows either if I don't do a demo. So
Mm-hmm.
it's bring them in, have them product,
Mm-hmm.
some way, one way or another. We have a built-in sink at our booth.
Mm-hmm.
An idea my husband came out with, but anything works, whatever you can manage. But you want people to experience not just the product itself, but the overall. Like you said, our
Yes.
products are very colorful, so that draws them to our booth. They say, "What is that?" The scent. We have our
Right.
bestseller mango sorbet that we use as our demos, and it's funny because I don't even smell it anymore, but
Mm-hmm.
people will say, "Oh my God, I smell this as soon as I came into the hall or
Right.
something,"
Right.
and they were like sniffing their way looking for where the smell was coming from. So people say, "Oh, you should go take your product to X hotel, or this hotel or something, and show them this." And I say, I don't like to do that type of marketing. I want them to come and find me. I
Mm-hmm.
want them to experience the whole visual and
Mm-hmm.
this, use all their senses when they
Mm-hmm.
see the product, because I think it's easier for me to sell it to them that way than for me to take in a
Mm-hmm.
gift bag and show them what product I have.
So
So
that's such
demo.
Yeah, and if we could stay with that just for a second, because you brought it up, I love that point. We always, at IBN, I mean, the kind of great discussions and motivational, encouraging, learning, sharing discussions we have, make sure that you're not just like standing at your booth smiling, have,
Hmm.
and not even really just inviting people over just to see your stuff, invite them over to experience it
Right.
for
That's exactly.
themselves. And that is what, no matter what store I go into, now that I'm thinking of this, because you just said it, I went to, I can't even remember the name of the store, but they had a little sink set up with all of the big mirrors and everything. And they had hair color, like temporary hair
Oh.
color that you actually put on your hair with a little mascara wand looking thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I looked at it, and I never would have tried it. I never would have
Hmm.
bought it if I
Right.
hadn't tried it. So there were these three ladies standing around me, putting with a mascara wand this pink hair color in my hair. And of course, it was like $31. And did I buy it? Yes. Because Elissa, I
You
can't
got
even
to try it.
I can't even find it now. It's just
Yeah.
it's just but it was so much fun, and that experience of having these people, show me something new and exciting that turned my hair pink for a day was really I wanted to take that fun home with me. And I love that you mentioned that, because if it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone. So what Elissa said, show people how it works. Let them experience it. Let them see it fizz and scrub and smell and bubble up and everything. And you have so much more of an opportunity to sell it, and you don't have to say anything.
You don't. It almost sells itself. The only thing that might be, I mean, I don't think our product is expensive, but there might be people that think that it's too much for what they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I mean, there's people who surprise that they come and do the demo, and she goes, "Does everyone who do demos buy?" And I said, "No." She's like, "You're kidding me. Why wouldn't they buy this?"
Right.
I said, "Well, I don't know. Something's wrong with them."
Yes,
But,
exactly.
but really, that is the main thing. And all you have to do is I mean, I make it sound like it's so obvious, but really, you just have to think of yourself being the customer.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't try this, would you buy it? No, I wouldn't. If you didn't try it and you just saw the price, would you think it was expensive? Yeah, probably. I mean, there's so much, and putting ideas in their head, it's not just a scrub. Like, why would people go and just use scrub on the go? Like, that doesn't make sense. But once they try it, they realize what it feels like and what it can do. And I say, you know what? You can freshen up, when you're at a movies or on a date and you're going to go to the restroom, you're going to wash your hands anyways. Use one of these. It'll be soft. You'll smell good. It's a nice way to refresh yourself. So, if you smoke, this is a nice, you go wash your hands. It's like a way to get rid of some of that smoke smell. You have to just kind of throw it out there, because a lot of people can't think for themselves.
Oh gosh, that is such a really good point too. And I know we have to wrap things up, and I'm already wondering, are there any smokers trade shows? Like, are there stores that sell cigars and
sure
stuff?
There is,
because
we've never been to one.
I know, but this is like what you're describing though. It's an innovative thought to consider that if there was a trade show for cigars or cigarettes or whatever, you would probably be the only person in the whole hall selling anything like this. And
I'd have to look into that.
It's just, you think about, it's a marketing idea, and that's what and that's why it's so great to have these kinds of conversations with other entrepreneurs, because you never know where they're going to end up. But how many other people have ever done that? I don't know. And now that you said it, I'm like, wow, it would be the perfect application for a product like yours. Because I know my husband and I had dinner at a restaurant not too long ago, and we could tell that the server was a smoker because we could see, we could kind of see a little bit, but we could smell it on her hands when she put the food on the table. And so restaurants, it's like, so your server, oh my goodness, we're creating a whole different business model for you. I don't want to do that, but what fun. And maybe the conversation will spark some ideas for someone else. I love this. I love your products. They're wonderful. I love the inspiration that you share working with your husband, and also just showing us that we can have one idea and it can lead to another and another. And then also that we can still keep our job. You're like everything in one show. This is great.
I work 7 days a week, but I'm okay with that. I love what I do on both ends, and I'm just one of those lucky ones that's found something that I love. So.
Well, we are lucky too that we get to talk with you and hear some of your story and the tips and ideas that you share. Everyone, go to BonBlissBeauty.com. I guarantee you will want to click at least 100 times and see all the colors and look at all the fragrances that are available. She's also on Twitter and Facebook. And then, of course, stay tuned. We're going to update you when the time comes when that rebranding is done. So, Elissa, we're going to have you back and have you talk a little bit more about that experience and introduce it to everyone later on. Will you come back?
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. Elissa Choi at BonBlissBeauty.com. Check it out, everyone. Thanks, Elissa. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Elissa Choi at Bon Bliss Beauty. And if you enjoyed this episode of the Indie Business Podcast, won't you share a little bit of the love? Just go to indiebusinessnetwork.com/love. And if you're logged into Twitter, all you have to do is click one time and you'll automatically send a message out to your fans and friends, just letting them know that you listen to our podcast and you enjoy it. I hope that's not too much to ask for the great information and inspiration we share here with you. It really does help us to get a boost in the iTunes rankings, and also just allow us to spread the word a little bit more about what great things creative entrepreneurs are doing nationwide. And if you'd like to see a particular guest on our show, or if you have a topic that you'd like for us to discuss, please let us know. Just go to indiebusinessnetwork.com and click on the contact link right there in our website and send us a message and let us know your thoughts. We love to hear from you, and we love to give you what you want us to give you. It's a pleasure to be able to do that. So please let us know what we can do to serve you better. I'll see you on the next episode of the Indie Business Podcast. In the meantime, break all the rules, build your own corporate ladder, and create the life you love.